Once again, these few seconds delay. But I almost got where I wanted to, which would be pretty new. Actually, I'm not even sure if anyone of you is around or if my time schedule showing this one. Is it? I am live. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Tuesday. Okay. I don't want to watch it. What I want to do is get my proper stream manager in here. Okay. So here we go. Let's go. We got some midweek games. Of course, we have to, as usual, to have a look at the old bets. At the ones that cost us all the money. But in fact, yesterday I just selected the one. Maybe I was getting tired a bit. And there was also a mistake I made in the evaluation. I mean, this shouldn't happen, but sometimes it still does. Because then it feels a bit like I'm entering some random figures here, right? For anyone, I'm actually the only one who had been present at every single second of my stream. Right? Well, maybe when I went to close the door, I wasn't visible here. Or close the window. But is it lagging again? 2 people watching. It's not a lot yet, but sometimes my chat window tells me something different. It tells me there may be 5 of you. Okay. Okay, where were the errors I made? I mean, I was here, I was present for every single proposal. There had been a small discussion here or there whether or not a certain bet had been confirmed. We introduced that ticking of the bets. And within the chat, and if you review it, you may notice, usually they are, if they are confirmed, they got that now in green. That little, what is it called? I don't know. I could look it up. It's been ticked. I don't know. Häkchen, what do you say? I don't know. Tick, yeah, that's what I said. So, the mistake I made was somewhere here. I mean, I entered the one that had been claimed. We went for it. It's not colored yet. Okay. But that had been the over that ended in a 0-0, a sad 0-0 draw. In fact, there had been not so many chances, so it was a bad over, and we lost it. But that had been entered subsequently. But that was not the mistake. somewhere there I lost these bets here, from here to here. And if you witness the result here, that is a little plus of, we lost 2 bets half and won 3 of them, right? So it was like almost 1 unit won. That had been forgotten. I lost them somehow, right? And now they have been re-entered, but you will easily remember that day we made a couple of bets. They had been made before those, that's why they are entered here. And we made them after these, and so on. Anyway, they had been made, right? I remember talking about the Sheffield United game, and so on, the Lazio, we were lucky, Juve, not in Lazio, then we were lucky to lose just 1.5 instead of 2 units. And Juve, Atalanta, 2 penalties, and so on. So we won the over, and the side, we lost only half of it with a 2-2 equalizer. Anyway, they had been made, and I had somehow removed them. Now they are back. That's 1 unit in our favor. And here, this was, well, one of them had been missing at least yesterday, so Soccer Home, who's keeping them separately, he had a much better result. After this is the proper result. He said 5.03, which was here without the Leganes. Now we won half the bet yesterday in the Villarreal against Real Sociedad. So we are here. And this is the very right result and confirmed. If I had been confused yesterday, for example, let's start to look at it here. Why we had 90, no. Where are the sums here? Oh yeah, that's 62 good ones, 34 bad ones, and 15 neutral ones, because I couldn't evaluate them. I could do that in the future. I have an idea, but it takes some time. And now we have 62 good bets, 34 bad ones. Those do not count. We are getting involved into leagues I'm not doing properly. I may start with that. I was talking about all that. But 62-34 is the ratio we have to look at, and this is just excellent. It is better than I usually am. So we could say in sense of quality, we had been lucky, if you want so. But what need would that be if the bets still go against us, right? With a plus 4.56, I would say that is a decent result. And you could argue, well, if you're so good in selecting them, then you should have a better result, right? Like 28 units which is between this and that, and minus the market margin of 193. Let's make it. That would be 28 times 0.93. That's what we should be winning, right? Should be. So 26 units. Of course, that is ridiculous to calculate it like that. We should just, we are keeping track of that. We are happy as long as we are significantly better in the quality over the bad ones, the good ones over the bad ones. And as long as this ratio is good, or it's significantly in our favor, it could be 57-39, that would still be fine, yeah, right? That it appears to be, we usually have some decent picks. And it still isn't easy to convert this into winnings. And you cannot just do this naive fallacy the way I just did it. We would take anything as long as it's green, right? As long as it's plus here. But it's hard enough to ever get there, right? Who would manage? So we can just be happy. Even if the quality would suggest us, we might even do better. We should not be too asking for too much, right? It still is. As we can measure the quality in a different way now, we can judge that a lot better. First of all, I wanted to make sure You understand? Because I was getting confused where I was making those errors in making those sums here. And there were just 58, as if they were just good and won, good and lost. Why is this figure 58 and this one 62? Because any good bet should be either winning or losing. And this is not true. Here it's 33. It means in the end there had been 4 bets even where we just hit the line. It's a draw no bet and it ended in a draw. So we are just even. How could I count it? It's not winning, it's not losing. So it's 58 here, 62 good bets, and here I just counted 58, right? Here's 62. Here's the sum of these two is 58. So there are 4 bets that were just even, and they are not counted here. And the same thing here, 10-23. I mean, we're happy, very happy with getting the winnings on the good bets, right? I mean, if those figures were all about the same, then you could say, well, forget about the counting of the good or bad. Just you're doing random measurements. It's just it doesn't tell us anything. As long as, which is not the case. I mean, we have a very, very good result on the good bets and a bad result on the bad bets, which is either of them is fine. I mean, this could be closer here, which would be well acceptable, or it would rather be to be expected maybe 15, 18 or so, right? But in turn, this figure could be worse. This is so good, we couldn't expect this to happen. This is just set by experience, what I'm saying now. So, yeah, good day, George. The thing what we added now and what I was talking about yesterday are these figures here, and with soccer home being around or not, I don't know, but I was when I was driving to Erkner, maybe some of you had heard this story yesterday, and I came back and I was a bit late and so on. We actually talked about this, and I said, well, we have to do it like this and like that, and that's more or less what he's done here. So he entered this. I haven't done this calculation. There's quite a bit of a formula here, right? Because there are a couple of possibilities what we bet on and so on, and you have to make the right differences. But anyway, he's done that right, and or Christian, if you are here, welcome and thank you for doing that. But he's also interested, and we want to. Well, we know each other for 27 years now, so. There's some trust in that. I mean, also the way he's working, but also, I mean, I'm giving my figures to him, and we help each other more or less. And if this value, I was saying that it's going to be minus. It's going to be minus because there's no way that if market is here with a price, which means it's assuming a price or a probability below that, below the reciprocal. Here's the market price, 2.0. So then they would assume the probability is not 50% for this to happen, but it's 48% or 47.5% or something like that. So we have to beat this to get even, or it's 48.5 also. But if we had to beat this, and we have to get on top of that, so we have to be better. If we were just even, we would be very good punters, but it still wouldn't pay to go professional, right? There's no way to. So we have to beat this margin 1.5%, plus we have to get something extra. But if we assume the probability to be up here, and market says here or somewhere between that, then most likely it's gonna be somewhere between here and here. Hopefully, if we are very good, the better we are, the closer we come to what we assume it is, the probability. And the same holds true for the goal expectancies. So any bet we make is either our evaluation is very good, so it's absolutely right, the difference we assume. So if we take a favorite like Leicester and we computer says there's 1 goal between them and the line is 0.75, and the new system even says it's 1.4 goals between them to be expected. And they play only by 0.83 goals better, which is they lost 4-1, so we lost it anyway. So it was still a bad quality in this, what we can measure, because I was overrating Leicester, but which is very, very understandable. I mean, why can I say it's 1.3 or 1.2 goals or 1 goal even if market says it's 0.75 goals between them? So how can I beat that? I can beat it, but not by being absolutely right with a 1 goal or 1.3 goals even between them, but it would be maybe 0.95. So we still have some space in that, but it's gonna be corrected into the direction of the market. So this minus value is pretty big here, because I overrated them, and still we had a lot of margin, because the bet was so to say by computer was excellent, because I was saying it's maybe even 1.4 goals between them, or it's just 1 or 0.95 when it's close. But anyway, we have a bad value against us, which contributes to this minus value here. But still it was maybe a decent bet, because if you saw first half and they were so much better, so a lot of different things could have happened, right? I can see it's lagging again. Does it lag here? What Christian now did on top of that is say how much space we had, right? We have to talk about this once again to make sure we compare it here to here. He compared it to the line. Here he compared it to well, we have some kind of bolster this or some margin we still have that could be covered until we are even or going bad with a bet. So in this case we would still be actually good enough here in some sense. But anyway, we added this. I was expecting it to be minus, but it's just a very, very small minus on average, right? So it's every game we can adjust the line or the price computer made by more or less just 0.05 goals. So in case we have you could even call this deducted from the price, right? So if we bet at 2.0 and the computer says it's 1.90 is the true price, then it maybe is 1.95. So that would once again say it's right in the middle. We have an edge, we have the advantage, but it's a lot smaller than we expect. But as I said, here's the market price, or the probability market assumes. Here it is what it really thinks it is, so I should be losing, or we should be losing. We assume it here, it is right in the middle. More or less you can say that like that, and it is confirmed by these figures. So what reason would we have to stop doing this? We have no good reason at all. We are just doing a good job. This is all we can confirm here with another way of evaluating our bets. And this is a measurable parameter. It is a value we get, while we just say good or bad or neutral, which is still very similar. But here we can weigh it in this value. So on average, it's we're not quite hitting the proper lines, but the deviation is small enough to still consider ourselves good enough. It is a ratio we have after 118 bets, but let's see what happens after maybe 1,000 if you stay tuned this long. Okay. So I have to once again check here. If you I don't know, what do you think about the time? Is it a bad time to stream here, or what's wrong with it? Or is it the lagging it's not working so well. I mean, I'm trying to improve in all areas. One way of improvement would of course be to have a better computer here, or maybe better times, or if you say, well, forget about this, just give me your bets or things like that, which I don't know if you would fancy. I can tell you, I can show you maybe this is fine, but I took down a few bets already. So if you would wish to see that and you prefer that, of course that's a boring way of doing it, but sometimes people tend to ask, can't you just give us the winning bets? That's all we need. We don't want to think that much. And here I've written them down, but I'm not sure this is the proper way. But you could have a look now. In Switzerland we have 2 unders. Maybe if you can, time is good. Okay, Laura Marie, very happy to see you again. Although I just see a female sounding name. There's nothing on the sides, and really, we're closing in. The season is coming to an end. The computer is doing the best job just during the season, the regular campaign, because I mean, it is better to have a couple of games played, because then first my algorithms would start to find out something different. It's not just the algorithms, but it's also the tables that I had been showing you here or there, and I will again. I mean, I was just showing now for once, for someone who's just tired of listening to all that crap, and he may never become a good professional if you just take down the bets and then call it a day. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna make some money. Of course, this is not a long-term approach. Gonna be working. Okay, greetings. Grazsport. Why am I showing this? Yeah, Premier League. I was trying to get through these, but actually, when we had to discuss all of them, the games, because any of them is special, or you have to consider things. I would feel very comfortable now to do the English Premier League. I mean, it's the biggest one in the world. We want some English here, or some English football. Actually, they all like the English football, which I do even more so, and a lot longer than you, right? Because I'm much older. But the Premier League, I like the commentary and things, and they turned off the English commentary. You don't have the voice option anymore, and which I regret very much. But then you could even love the English football a lot more, and that's actually what I've done for quite a few years. And sadly, by losing this option, it's at least on Sky here. It's as sad as any German football game, but by the commentary. But still, it's some good football, and it's just also hearing the interviews after the games and so on. But you would all like them, and the thing is, it is worldwide, one of the biggest ones. So in case we are really good there, which is even a lot more difficult, I have to agree or accept that. But still, if we could do or apply our algorithms and the things here, we might still be good enough. And then it's the biggest one, so we also could make the biggest turnover there, right? So if we could beat the English Premier League, then we could really still consider of making some decent money somehow. And so, but the time is bad now. I mean, it's too late now to enter the season. It is almost over. What would you do? I mean, every game is special. Of course, you can. Yeah, well, it's not that much fun. And even it's I would, when Bundesliga 1 and 2 had their last 2 match days, especially the last one was somewhere around when I started here. Really, I'm just relieved not to get hurt, right? I mean, with the results, money-wise. I mean, because you can really get terrible results that you remember all your life, because you also may consider yourself so silly to, as we did, go with Köln, and then you think all your life, what have I done with my money, right? Tear it apart, burn it, throw it out of the window. Anything would have been better. Give it to your children. It's the best way of getting rid of it. Or your wife. Yeah, okay. But it didn't happen. So after all, it was okay. Even Bundesliga 3. But still, it's a lot more work you have, a lot more worries you have, and a lot less money you can expect to pull out of that. You can't expect to be winning. So in this sense, it's not that really it's too late now to enter this or to start doing it, right? It's the same, of course, for Italy and Spain. So sadly, although we started this stream and you're really around and following it, and of course 104 followers. I mean, I'm hoping for a couple more, which I wouldn't have to tell you, but instead the guys that are not around, that wouldn't listen. But you could help, of course, in that sense as well. I mean, just spreading it somehow. What we could do instead of doing this rubbish here is, and also, I mean, you could just see those bets. What we could do is maybe go through the games. I mean, we could start with any league. But what did I say what we were going to do? What did the title say? Can't remember. But in Switzerland, I mean, now that you saw the bets, it is already boring, but we have to take the bets down, right? Because the prices, we have to compare that and things like that. So Switzerland are playing, so I could show this here. Is it big or is it small? This one is small. And I mean, of course we can Basel are not even playing, so there's one again. And I was talking about this danger, and for me, well, I mean, they tried to get through this season now at least, hoping for, well, this crisis. I can't even say the name of this and what it is. What is it? A virus. I don't know what it is. But it is some crisis. And now they stopped this game, FC Zurich. I don't know how they will handle that. And didn't hear about it, and I actually don't want to know, even. But Xamax are taking on Sion. And so far, computer always liked Sion for some reason. But I was arguing about them, and they are just, this Constantin, this president, he's spending a lot of money and he's hiring and firing. I don't know what. I didn't enter those values here. Sorry for that. Here we just see those. Of course, I could show you the values from the new system within the Asian handicap file. because there it's properly exported. Okay, so they are gonna play, but it's not in the market, right? Yeah, it's just a bit silly. I mean, I don't want to criticize that, but I mean, if it's quarantine or what it's called, then well, maybe all of them, but maybe they haven't been in touch or anything. It's just some silly rules. Here you see the old system says small edge only to Xamax, and the new system says a lot more, 1.52, 1.04. The old system would even say, well, you could try again with Xeon, but the new system would simply disadvise, and I'm ready to take that advice. And what more we could try and look up is to see that team's development. In this file, I mean, we still have to do some work maybe. I mean, or you have to start and get used to the way I'm doing it, whatever that would help me in the long run, or that would help you if you knew. I'm thinking about some assistance somewhere in some areas, which we still had to think about and how to set it up. Well, we can compare here. If these two are playing, right, it is kind of, well, I mean, still 6 or 7 games to go. They are 4 points better. They have this one more game. Or is it played? Sion against Zurich? Xamax had been a slightly better side. So this is one thing. I mean, first of all, and then we could look it up here about home and away, which I am not showing in a proper shape yet. I'm trying to get, yeah, well, as I said, improve things. I mean, for me it had been fine, although you have to say when you work yourself and you think about it, you always have to, well, it would be also an improvement to get everything at one glance, right? You once look at it and you know exactly there's this figure, there's this, and now I have to swap around here and go to this app or this file and look here and look there. But as it is a lot, you would always say, well, let me see. Or you think, okay, now I'm going to look at the table from last season, or how did they play last time, or whatever it is, right? And you still would say, well, I have to look here or there. Or who's missing, which player is missing, or something like that, right? And you still would have to somewhere swap around your windows or things. But now I'm looking at home and away, and as I see, of course, Xamax are not any good at home with 249, but Sion with 329 away from home is also bad, so that's pretty neutral. Still, I would feel like the new system is exaggerating a bit, even if it says, well, actually, it could be that Xamax are still the better side because they should have won more points than Sion have. But the goal difference of minus 25 compared to minus 18 still says a little bit, right? And so, yeah, well, Sion could still easily be the better side, and now they have to defend their 4-point lead because it's just one team going down out of 10. But of course, I can't simply overrule the new system because this is incorruptible, and it tells us it's more than 0.4 goals between them, so it would not advise to go with Sion, so I have to ignore that. Still, I would like to explain a couple of things. The previous Lipo has been rescheduled the same date and time by the Federation. Please note that the away team will play with the... Yeah, plus please not, but if it's not your Grazsport, I guess it's please note, there's an E missing. Please not that the away team will play... Please note. But I guess you copied it in, so it's not your fault at all. Please note. I understand. So this game is on. Basel are playing Zurich tonight. We're not gonna bet on it. We do not look at the figures. Or well, we had one game, right, with in Denmark where they were playing with the under 21. Or Odense, right? Was it Odense? They lost 1-3 at home. They even scored a goal after being 2 goals down. There was Odense against Silkeborg. Yeah, when it turned around from minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. So 1 goal is the difference between A and B team or youth team. A team and youth team. We do not bet Sion, although I would actually see some point in that. So for the enthusiasts of you that trust the old system, or also, well, there is of course some good reason. There's not such a big home advantage in this, and why should Xamax now actually be real favorites over Sion? It doesn't. Well, maybe it's not an even game, but why would they be? Yeah, minus a quarter. I couldn't find much of a reason. Anyway, in the same game, by the way, the computer tells us that we could look for the under. And why would it say so? I mean, under makes the most sense to me, actually, right? Which is, I mean, it's not a huge surprise, because it is kind of a battle against relegation, of course, and we all would fancy it's gonna be some... Why is my file now? Okay. It's gonna be a tight battle, right? And now, do you see that, what I'm doing? Yeah, okay. What is the line? You have to tell me the line, or the current price, more or less. What I have written down here was 2.03 on the 2.75 goals, which is some huge margin here. And we can even compare the performance value given here in column S. This is minus, and is it some? Yeah, I was clicking the right game, ticking, whatever. Minus 0.37, so it's a huge under indication, a really huge one, which is, I mean, I don't understand that, but I have no idea. My computer, I didn't tell him this is a relegation battle, so there are gonna be less goals or something like that. It's just doing its regular work. And if then already an under is indicated, if there were the over indicated, then we could say, oh, market does have some idea about it. It would regularly maybe be some more goals, but in this special case, it is an under. But if the under is indicated, old and new, which you can of course witness as well, if we so we saw this margin here. Here we see it's 2.57 goals in the new system, which is not a lot more. Here it's the sum is 2.5 goals or 2.57. So the new system does agree. Why is my chat box not active here? What is going wrong? Do you see the chat box? No, it's coming up. But you had to say something. So I could see it's working. The new system does agree to that under. I wouldn't have 2.02. So this is close to the, yeah. Veggie Herbert. Very good. So, Soccer Home is not here, I guess. How do we do that? Well, I've shown the under, right? In the, could someone do this green tick to the bet? Because I don't know how it's done. This bet is on. I mean, I'm not. Of course, what kind of promise? I wouldn't promise anything. It's gonna be a 3-3 draw. We would have won the side, but we lose the under. But here, all the characteristics, or well, all I could consider is favoring the under, and that's all we do. Young boys against Servette, line is 1 goal. You see that already here. That computer says it's 1 goal between them. Line is 1. So no indication. And for the goals, funny enough, there is some contradiction. Of course, we are not so happy if we have this contradiction. If old system says 3.14 goals. And the new system says, what does it say? 3.44. Well, it's not such a huge difference, but I think the new system would, it would almost like the over, and the old system would like the under. But anyway, the margin is usually also pretty small between winning, the price here and there. So, well, not such a big deal. But it's kind of small contradiction that, of course, I could explain as well. But, well, I'm not going to do it now. But we are actually a bit happy sometimes to see that happening, because we want a second opinion, more or less. They both have their origin and make their sense, right? These old and new calculation methods. Now in Lugano Thun, what did I write down here? Yeah, we could think about Lugano in some sense, but who would like to do that? Now I'm getting a call again. And this is the same guy yesterday that I was talking about, who I would prefer if you would be watching. What can I do now? Okay, I tell him I'm here. Sorry for that. What is, I can't see that, but I guess it's here. But it's still not in my chat window. This is worrying me a bit. So maybe something wrong with it. I lost it again. I can't see anything in this OBS chat window. Anyway, Graz Sport, thank you. I see that being ticked here. So in Lugano Thun, we could consider to go with Lugano. And why would we possibly do it or leave it? I mean, here I would say, well, Lugano. I mean, Thun are definitely not safe yet. Imagine Xamax winning, I mean safe. Then Lugano, you could also think about. Well, it's 6 games to go. We shouldn't think too much about this. It's too many games to be played. But yeah, Thun needed a lot more. But actually, I wouldn't. Well, we shouldn't. Well, maybe we. I mean, it's 6 games to go anyway. I mean, who could relax now and say, well, season is over? I mean, it's never the case. Maybe 3 games to go, you can already start to think about that. But 6 games to go, this is like 20% of the season, right? So no one can actually stop playing. So this makes no sense. We could consider. Now I'm gonna look at the home and away record. Lugano, not great with 4-7-4, but better than away, which is 4-4-7, and Thun on the road is 3-1-11. So usually they lose their games on the road, and they also lost last 4. They lost. Okay, goal difference 3-12, -9 in 4 games. Anyway, the goal difference is -27, which you see here, against -4. So Lugano are actually the much better side, which is shown here as well. I mean, Thun are in fact still the worst side. Now we get one more. It would make some sense what we detected till now. Now we can still look at the development, right? No, this is Lugano. You see all those figures in the background. It's still maybe possible to focus on the diagram. Maybe not. But the red one is the one we care for. Well, we care for all of them, otherwise I wouldn't show them. But the red one tells us always a bit behind what I thought they were going to be, which is in blue, but not a big deal, right? They always, well, more or less, they always had been a bit behind the blue one, which means I overrated them. Well, this is not overrating. They are a bit below average, which is shown in yellow. But they are better than their results, which are shown in gray. So we could rather conclude it's okay with them. I mean, not much worry about that. Also on the developments, I wouldn't say something worrying. And Thun, well, what we see here is a bit different to what I thought was happening. I thought they improved, but they may have improved their results, which are shown in gray, but they didn't improve their efforts. Their efforts are just regular on their expected value, which is 1 point per game, which is 1 point per game is exactly where you start to, well, you are in trouble with 10 teams around. They are the worst, right? But now we can check back again. Lugano, just to show you this difference. Of course, we could set it up side by side, whatever that would be, next to each other. But they are on 1.22 points per game, while Thun are 1.0. So this is some significant difference. So the way I see it now, we can actually think about Lugano. But tell me the price. I mean, the price, the price, well, it's not bad. What is the price we get right now on Lugano? I mean, after we went through all the things we have to consider, we could actually confirm the bet. Give me a price and we can take this one in. I mean, we are just, it's marginal, and we can here or there, right? Why wouldn't we? Yeah, that's 195. Oh, minus half a goal. Yeah, sorry, yeah, 195 minus half a goal, of course. I removed the 2 here. Computer says it's okay for 195, so you could tick this one as well. I mean, just you know, we are doing this work now, and maybe here or there we find some fine points. I'm not, you know, promising what this is ridiculous, of course. But if we work it out like that we say, okay, they both are in need, or they are not in need, but they're gonna play football, right? First of all, and then we have the home away record, then we have the development, and we have the and we have confirmed, which is clearly the better side. 0.22 points per game is significant. But of course the price does not sound so really, yeah, well, who wants the home side? But as we saw, Thun also lost the last couple of games on the road, and we could also argue, even in this case, we could argue that Lugano want to, yeah, well, then they could do with it with a draw as well. That's what would worry me a little bit right now, because if they say, okay, we're not going to win, but in case we are going to draw, that's about it, right? There's no one from, not all of these sides that are going to win as many points to catch them after a draw. From now, I mean, if they would lose, it's 31, 35, 27, 26 maybe. So you would still have to think about it, right? But if they draw, it's fine. I don't know. Take it or leave it. Just to show you we are doing some proper work here. I mean, now the last thing is the under in this game, right? And you see, computer sees very, very small amount of goals here. And of course he will have his reasons for that. That's the new system, and we can look it up in the old system as well. And it has some more goals, but still clearly good enough for an under. Was it? No, this was right. The performance though is a bit positive, plus 0.15, but that would be still within margin, right? Because we have under 195, 2.75, under 2.75, we get a price of, I have written down here 195. So even these 0.15 goals would be covered here. That's 1.91, we get 1.95. Is it still 1.95? Question would be. Okay, I mean, given what I just said before, that Lugano, they all play football. Okay, that's first of all, that's our first presumption. But if at some point it is a draw, okay, Veggie Harvard, then this one is a lot easier to confirm because it's good enough. It is within the range of the adjustment. New system likes it even a lot more with 2.36 goals, and the point here would be that Lugano would definitely not be unhappy at some point if it's a 1-1. We had that in Kaiserslautern Halle also when they, I don't know what they did, but we went for the over, and then it was 1-1, and then, well, both in fact were happy with the 1-1. So I wasn't right with that over. Are you leaving me here? I mean, I would, yeah, of course I would prefer if I could entertain you. Now I see plenty of people around, but it's telling me 7. I would like to, 7 viewers. I would like to understand that system here. Why is it changing the figures up there so often? This under is confirmed, and the Lugano, you can still tell me, do it or leave it. I don't know, but we have to make sure in the end we know what happened. We don't have to do it, right? I wrote down and I removed it because I thought, no, it's not the kind of game to make money with, right? In St. Gallen, Luzern, actually there's no indication at all. Everything is fine there. It's perfect. So why would we look at it? I would like to go through quickly our new pet league, which is Norway. I mean, Japan we're looking forward to, right, as well, right? But now we have midweek. We just have this Norway playing, and this one, doesn't look so nice, does it? Okay, that would be Norway. Yeah, was a bit tune. Okay, Koi boy, I'm waiting for comments. I mean, when we are in an English chat. Yeah, well, we are always gonna be different, and we're gonna find different bets than other people do. That's the only way of. We could never mit der Masse schwimmen. What is that in English? I mean, when they all say there's something. Yeah, Netflix and Chillo. Hello. We can never do what everyone else does or thinks. It has to be different. It is how we find our bets. That's the way things go. You have to put up with. Yeah, no. Go ahead, give me the proper expression for that. I like those sayings a lot, but you have to get used to them, and you have to. Find them and remember them. This looks very silly, what I've done here, but maybe the prices are right. But I should change the view here. Can I just move this one over? Oh no, this is just how do I reset this? Sorry. What I wanted to show you, first of all, when we talk about this league, I think I have to split my screen again, or this window, and stick with the matches. Okay. First of all, I wanted to point out that we have an expected average this week of only 3.08 goals, right? Which is, if you remember, we had last week. Yeah, we are not going with the flow. Right? We can never go with the flow. Follow the stream, go with the flow. I thought follow the stream was an invitation to someone else who just had been showing up here. Follow the stream. Click the follow button. Yeah, we're not going with the flow, I think. Sorry, Veggie Harvard. Okay. I have to change the view of the other file as well. because this is way too small. And of course we can check that as well down here, what we expected and what goals we did see, what we should have seen, and so on. So actually, can you see that? No, you can't. Why? Because no, you may be able. Real average is 3.18. That is very good, because we expected 3.20. Whatever, well, last season it had been 2.92. So why would I even go up? There's no point in that. But in case there are more, the offensive values are bigger, there is some adjustment already taking place. And if I say now expected, it is, well, it is just an adjustment that took place. But the goals that should have been 3.17. So I'm close with all these values, right? So I'm as close as can be. This can hardly be any better. So it means goal line bets would be reliable. Well, first of all, there are 7 match days played. I entered this league. I started it anew, and but still, those figures would tell me you can pretty well rely on these goal lines in the new system. The old system, I'm not comparing here because, well, it would be another component to think about. But we have this as the old system, I'm ready to adjust figures. Well, in the new system, I'm not. So in the new system, I may here or there change it in favor or in the direction of the market, but only because in case it convinces me, because there's something behind it, but also in the direction of what the new system thinks. But the new system just is incorruptible, once again, repeating that. And but first of all, we are pretty good in this. And it means the new system is doing well there so far. Now we see, that's what I'm trying to explain, or get you acquainted with these things that can happen and can occur, and that you may not lose your trust instantly if you see something contradicting, but it may be helpful if you notice all those things make sense actually. And even if there is a difference here or there, which was a little surprise to me last week, but now I can argue the other way around. And what was it that surprised me last week? We had an average expected of 3.33 goals. And then I thought, why would it be so quickly going up to 3.33 goals per game? Because we had last season 2.92. What is the point, what the computer sees there? Where is it coming from? And then I'm myself getting a bit confused, and maybe you are yourself too, especially if we pick out 4 overs and just lose half a unit to 1 winner, 1 half winner, 2 lost bets with just 1 goal in them, or that happened. There were lots of more goals in them. But what happened there even had been 3.4 goals. I still have this here, so I can even show you the goals that had been in this game. Or I think I just removed the window. It makes sense, or it helps you and it helps us to keep all those things in mind or watch out for them. And of course the more you get experience to that, what I'm doing here, the more you can even, mention it yourself. And you say, didn't you say last week? Oh, and I said, yes, you're right. Now, where is my match day 7? It is here. and we still can see that. That was what I expected. Maybe you can see this figure, it's pretty small. 3.33 in the new system, 2.94 in the old system. And what happened was, this was the average they played at. There was actually more or less an over 3. I mean, it was more than 3 goals in every single game. So the computer was very right in expecting 3.33 goals, which sounded like a ridiculously high value, but there were even more goals, so I could hardly be confirmed anymore. That would be one such example where, as I said, market here, truth here, we are here, and the truth that market thinks is here, and market price is here, truth they fancy is here, my figures are here, and reality was even above that. Of course, I couldn't expect this in the long run, but this was more or less what happened. But why did this happen? First of all, why did we have so many potential goals, or this huge potential? I was mentioning this because we did have a couple of huge favorites. This was the Saturday games already, with the Haugesund Molde pretty clear in favor of. Actually, Haugesund were by stats even the better side, but it was expected to be favorites. Rosenborg, Strømsgodset. There was Arlesund against Burde, which turned out to be the 1-6 even. And Brandbergen, Sandefjord, we could also count in. So sometimes it happens that those special encounters make this goal average rise, because you have certain games, clashes here. It could be favoring the unders, or it could favor the overs, which is of course a consequence of my methods of calculating that. But it's a proper way of doing it, and all those fine points no one actually would really notice. But if computer spots it, and we it makes sense, and actually the efforts that had been played confirmed this, so we can even more say, go ahead with what you're doing, right? It's pretty decent job. It's pretty okay what your figures say. And let me come to an end here. Those 3.33 was a pretty proper evaluation of that. Now this week it's saying 3.08, and those 3.08, it confirms what I said before. Although we had a match day with 3.33 goals expected and 3.46 goals they played on average, the average went down to 3.08, which confirms even more that it was a matter of those special pairings. Because you would expect an adjustment now from 3.33 to 3.38 maybe, because 3.46 was what happened, more or less. Of course, the goals had not been coming, because we even lost those 2 games with many chances, right? If you mind, I don't want to, I'm not complaining about bad luck or something like that, but if you remember, if we lose the Sarpsborg against Start, we had 3.06 goals in that one. There was just 1 goal, and the Mjøndalen was the one with the most chances here, with a 4.38 goals, and we lost this one as well. But I'm not complaining, right? I'm just trying to point that out, and I'm surprised myself even. How well it is working. And no, I wanted to point out one more thing, that which we may witness here or there again, that the old system is simply a bit more conservative on that. It did say 2.94 goals in the last match day, and it's saying once again 2.94 goals to be expected here. It is close to the 2.92 from last season. We did have some more goals this season because we saw that real is 3.18. So it's adjusting it slowly but surely, but it's not coming up to over 3 or something like that. This takes its time. It's going to be there. Of course, it's a matter of sometimes the distribution, right? There's match day 1, it's many, 2, there's fewer, 4, and things like that. So it's adjusting with every result coming in. But it is at least a little more conservative, which we could also confirm because the results were not, well, last match day we didn't hit those overs, and maybe there had not even been these many goals. Most likely they hadn't. We can see that here, of course, still. How many goals we did see? That's 25. So it was still an average of 3.13, right? So, well, it was not quite on 3.46, but it was 3.13. So it was still an over in some sense, right? But still, this match day occurs to be, or appears to be, one with fewer goals in it, which the old system also confirms with its value being stable. 2.94 last week, 2.94 this week. Anyway, I hope you take something out of this, and also we can make use of this knowledge and understanding, and also the cooperation of old and new, what we can squeeze out there, which is the system we would rely a little more on, maybe, when I still say the old system, when they all say nowadays, it is just a matter of results. Results is all that matters, or the result is all, results are all that matters, and they all stick to that rule. They simply say, doesn't matter how we win the points, as long as we win them, and a 1-0, a dirty one, or whatever, is as good as a 5-0 or something like that. We have the points. It's all we want. And this way of thinking and the way of acting, also, acting, the reacting by the players and coaches and stuff, and also the spectators, we can't take them out of the equation. What is it? Equation, right? We wanted to look at the over-under. It is, what to my surprise, actually, there's no real good one, or a single one, which is really good. Which is, when are they playing actually? Tomorrow, most of them. So we would have some time, but I'm not sure I'm going to be here tomorrow. So we tried to get those couple of bets down here. That's all we're going to do, right? I said about England, maybe it's not, I mean, if there were time, or if I would do another stream or whatever, I don't know, but I won't do that today, I guess. But maybe find a different way of doing it. I was talking about some of those things, but I would be very happy if I would make all the English games now, and in the end we would be even. Then I would say, oh, I can't believe it. How did we manage to be even? But I would say it's not worth it, right? That's the best way of saying it. It's some fun. We look through the games and we say, oh, maybe there's some point in going for this, or the under here, the over there, or this side or that side, and then if we are even, we would just say, oh, very, very lucky, very good, thanks a lot for that good fate. And same in Italy and Spain. We have plenty of football to come, I assume. I mean, we would all hope that in some sense. And so we and I will improve the way of doing that, I think, also maybe somehow just writing down the games and maybe quickly discuss 1 minute about it, or say whatever I think about it. I'm still now in a well, maybe you even do not really appreciate it, or some of you tune in and you leave again because you say, wow, that's so much mathematics and so much stuff and statistics. I mean, I stick to the way I've always done it also. That's too much work but it's I just saw an interview yesterday with the youngest grandmaster ever here. I saw on my iPhone. Youngest grandmaster, chess grandmaster ever in Germany, and I met him. Römerkai, hi Dirk, hi Römerkai. Youngest grandmaster. I met him really at the German Championship when he was 10 years old, and he was already better than me. I mean, he was just very good. Already we were about one level then when he was 10 years old. But now then he improved, of course. We all could see that coming, and he became a grandmaster. And 15 years is of course very young. But I met Karjakin, for example, who was the youngest grandmaster ever. I met him in 2004, and he won his title when he was 13 years and 10 months, I think. Yeah, kids, yeah. How many kids you got? And tell me how old they are, and playground, and so on. I love that. I've done that all the time with my children, every day, or really. And now, 10 years I met him. I met Karjakin when he was 14, and he became grandmaster when he was 13. And I played him, and he was still like, 14 years. He couldn't move properly. 2 daughters, 10 and 4. Very well. I also got 2 daughters, but I also got 2 sons. Equilibrium there. Okay. And this is even more of a talent. I mean, if it's 13 to become a grandmaster, and the other one with 15 or so, right? And of course, it's not what I was going to say. I just met these two. He beat me easily, this guy, when he was 14, Karjakin, with such ease. I mean, he didn't even have to look at the board, or he just knew what he was doing. And after the game, I asked him if he knew this, or he said, doesn't matter. I beat you anyway. That's not what he said, but it was more or less his behavior. What Vincent Keimer is his name, right? The youngest German grandmaster ever. And he just said, it is work. You have to work every day, 6 hours. You have to work. Otherwise, the others get the edge over you. And that's just the comparison, or the reason why I told this story. Do you want to be professional here? It's not laying in bed all day, thinking of the results, and then saying, go place a bet for me here or there. And then open up the window and money is pouring in. You gotta work. And that's the same thing here. And that's what we are doing. 10 minutes. Okay, the one bet that I would consider a good one, it's not on the side, although it's a very clear indication on the side in the Vålerenga against Hauger. Because the line is minus 0.25, and here we got 0.85. And this is the incorruptible new set system. I haven't done anything about it. It's just giving me these figures. Of course, I've done the initialization. I've done plenty of stuff about it. But from the start of the season, I never touched any such figure. So it's just the development there, and it's gone here. The old system is a bit more conservative, if you want so. It's just giving it 0.82. But this is a very huge margin there, right? Because 0.25, and when we get a decent price. So we have to do that, of course. We have to play Vålerenga, but there are some ifs and buts, and which we can witness here. And then I would even say, at some point you can say, hats off to market, or who's making these prices. They are too good for us to beat, or to be beaten. But look at this. Vålerenga, they are in 4th place. They won 12 points. They got 3-3-1. Proper evaluation, 10.49 points. Okay, they won 12. They had been a bit lucky. Still, even comparing it with what I expected, which you still have to be very careful with what you're saying, right? Because we have the third dimension here, right? The third dimension is when, well, nothing is without the third dimension. It's just an illusion. But there are two dimensions. I mean, if you draw something and you draw a square or something like that, it's already having 3 dimensions, because no way you can say it doesn't have any height or something like that. It's just in your fantasy that you can say, I can imagine a square. Well, where is it? Well, it's not there. Yeah, but I can imagine it. No, you can't actually. It's already having this third dimension. See you soon. Yeah, Ramakai. Sorry. Vålerenga and over. Okay? But check the chat later. If you see that, everything perfect. I expected them to be the better side. They were the better side. They won more points. They also won a little more points. No problem here. Vålerenga are better, and they are better in the table. I expected them to be better. So no reason for any doubts at all, until you see what they should have won, right? Which actually no one really sees, because people usually see the results, and the results are good. So if someone spotted Vålerenga are not the better side, that's us actually, or who else would do that? Yeah, we have to do that still, but heads off to the one who's setting up the price here, because he must have noted that Haugesund actually played by 2 points better. And then we could have our doubts and say, why would the computer be so optimistic about the chances? I would say now, we are forced to bet here in some sense. On the other hand, I would appreciate it in some sense if they wouldn't win, right? Because I would say, well, you would have watched it here. I mean, if the much better side, that's actually our way of making money by taking such sides like Haugesund. So it's somehow contradicting. We still have to take that Vålerenga, but this is not the good bet. It is the bet we have to do, in some sense, right? I mean, I wouldn't say after 7 match days and all this here is still somewhere in the offing. It's still there, right? What I thought about them, where they are, which confirms, and just this little figure here would make us think. But actually, we should be the one to have that low line, and market should be the other way around. If it is like that, as is, we have to take Vålerenga for some strange reasons, but we are not this proud of this bet. While we are, or there's lots of reason to be proud of our bet on the over, which is, for me, it's pretty amazing why they at all in any game would have a 2.5 line. For me, yeah, that's 194. Okay, I've written that down as well. If we have, where would ever be a line in a league where the goal average is right now 3.18, or what was it, 3.18, and where it was last season 2.92, and well, why would the line be 2.5? I can't see that. That's a very, very decent under market would claim. But we can look here. I think I made this naive fallacy again. Was it? At least that's 20 plus 19. That's 39 goals in 14 games. Yeah, it's like the league average, I think. It's close to the... What is it? I think I've done that. It's 2.78 Oh, 2.79. Okay, so it is maybe very slightly kind of an under, but just by these two figures, right? Who would, I mean, well, after 7 match days, and it's just the average, and a goal less here or there, or 1 goal more here or there, and I mean, this is not the difference, right? But you can say, well, they all know that they are always playing defensively. I don't know, but computer has its own opinions. Anyway, if the average is like that, but who would be so specific about that? I don't know. Okay, but the new system, as you saw here, is already having a 3.03. I think I have the lines here, or the prices. Vålerenga 2.5, right? We had the 2.5. Yeah, 194. This is not a huge margin, but it still is there. If we get to 1.94, but the new system has a clearly better view on that. That's from the old system. The new system is beating that easily, right? With the 3.03 goals over these 2.88. So I can't see any reason for that being a bad under. Especially as we had all those potential goals last match day, right? In Bode against Sund, because we have Christian Sand as well, but it's Bode against Sund. I respect Sund a lot, and well, what is it respecting? It doesn't mean anything, right? But Bode, I mean, who has ever played such a... 37 goals with 7 wins, every win more than 3 goals on average. 23 divided by 7 is more than 3. I don't know. This is, but who wants to mess with them, right? Maybe they are this good, and I don't know. Here you see they are better than expected, but 21 points gained. That's way too much. But who would mess with them? It is actually indicated in some sense, but and it does make sense, of course, that it is indicated. But for that to get involved, I would rather say, well, we should go and watch some games like we see Bayern Munich or something like that. Is it a real Bayern Munich, or what's happening there, right? We just have the stats, which are still massively on their side. If you see that goals for expected, goals for should, but they scored twice as many, right? Defensively they were better by just having to concede 7.7. They conceded only 7 offensively. But if they score so well, there's a lot of margin in that to adjust the price we have there. We just wouldn't do that. And also the under is just ridiculous in some sense. It makes sense that it's indicated, but we don't want that, right? And then we have Sandefjord Ålesund. We have a very small over here. And here even this is a bit funny, that here the old system even sees a few more goals than the new one. We can check here. Here would apply what we said about the Thun, Lugano Thun, right? That it's a battle against relegation, but I wouldn't start to say it at match day 7, right, or 8 that they are playing. Why? I mean, there's so much to play. After 15, maybe you can start thinking like that. Market would still say, but why would it say here when it wouldn't in Lugano against Thun, where we even under? So that doesn't make sense for me. The expected goals are just fine, but Ålesund conceded a lot. Right? But they were playing okay. But if they concede so many goals, well, maybe something is not so good about their defensive. I mean, we wouldn't in this case say it's not an over because they are conceding and they shouldn't, or something like that. If it's indicated, if it's where the under indicated, then we would have to argue, but we could argue. But here we don't need to. I mean, it's already indicated, and there are even more goals. Okay, so what? Then it's even better. it is an over, and even the new system does confirm, but only by a very small margin. That's why I have the question mark here. And well, you can make up your mind and say, well, I do not like it because it's relegation battle. I would say we have over 2.5. It's 181. Yeah, it's close enough. I mean, it's just indicated. It is just the old system you see here finds some more goals, so it likes it a bit better, but still the old. I mean, we are still on league average here, which doesn't worry us, right? I mean, why? What is wrong? I mean, they have conceded all the goals, so it's fine. It's just indicated. 2.93 is still enough for an over 2.5, but marginally, very marginally. But goals had been there. And well, the last one I would know. I have two more, and maybe you've seen that already. It's past half, but we have this Brandbergen, right? And for me, this is a bit like Young Boys, or you know what I mean. Young Boys had many seasons where they had been struggling or so, right? But you would always expect them somehow. Well, one point they will go top again, or they can win the title, or things like that. So Brandbergen are some Young Boys had many bad seasons and always struggling, or Grasshoppers similar to that, and they even went down one league now, and you still would think, well, one day maybe, but they lost their stadium, Grasshoppers also, so it's not a good comparison. But Brandbergen, but next week we go against them, then I say something different. Anyway, they are doing okay, they are up here, so what's wrong with them? And Odd are fine, but as you see here, 10 points, 9.24 expected, 8.65 they played. So there it's okay, but we could argue the same here, that they didn't play as well as I expected, but still it was better than what Odd did, right? Can you see that, what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Sandefjord over is a bet. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, without soccer home, I'm a bit lost here. Maybe you can repeat them, or I will simply throw this graph again. Then I will just mention it. I mean, it is Brandbergen. It is slightly indicated. They are the slightly better side. Even I would see some better potential there. And we have a draw no bet, and the price is better than 2. That's at least what I have written down here. And then I wouldn't find very good reason to stay away from that. And then I have Rosenborg, which I would really propose. They had this terrible last season. And now what I saw there as well was, you can still see that when I was entering the stats and looking at all their games, you can still see that there is some potential. Very often in those stats, it is like they didn't really mean to, or something was going on, but still you see quite often that there's potential. And now I would say maybe there is a chance, although this doesn't quite confirm here, 10.4 instead of 11.73, but still there is some potential there, and they could be, well, on the same level or even better than Brandbergen, for example, right? And Start are just, well, here you see, well, I didn't notice that they also played better than expected, but of course they are very low with 7.15. Well, this would make me maybe reconsider, because here I would say the same thing as in the first one we had, Vålerenga against Haugesund, that the market is just doing a very good job by noticing they are much better than their points, and Start has a better name than those around them here. All of them, up to Strømsgodset, I would say. From Ålesund, they would have a somewhat better name. That doesn't mean so much these days. But where are we? I mean, still computer likes it, and I would say, well, have a go. I feel this potential is still there in Rosenborg's squad. Without that, they could fully confirm here. And Start actually confirmed they are even better than I thought, without them winning any points. And the very last one would be the very, very last one, because I think I wrote it down. That's the over here. This is really discovered by market as the proper under. Stabæk against Sarpsborg, because line is 2.25. And, well, computer says also clearly the least goals. Here you see Strømsgodset maybe, okay. But 2.69, 2.61 are the lowest values here. And but market has the same. We could also say, well, heads off, they are just doing a good job. How do they know? But here I think I've done this naive fallacy as well. Stabæk against, who are they playing? Sarpsborg, sorry. 15 and 19. That's 34 divided by 14. That's close to 2.5. Okay, that's the reason. Computer still says it is an under. But if the line is 2.25, then we still take the over. That's all. I mean, it is marginal as well. Yeah, but it is indicated. Rosenborg -1 to -1? I have -0. Wow. I mean, we can check that. -1, that doesn't sound so good. You see that? 2.03? It's not good enough. This I would definitely, now after what we saw here, let's forget the Rosenborg, okay? It's close anyway. We have some confirmation here. Terrible season and not a great one now. 11 points and 7. They are still in 5th place, okay, but they didn't even play so well this time. And they are okay. So we have to forget that one. I mean, sorry, if I was arguing in favor of it, it's just slightly indicated. And there would be enough reason already now to skip it. And now even with this price changing, I could say we go with the market, but we can't do that as soon as the prices are spoiled. So that's like going with the market, but going down the drain, right? It's the same thing, going down the drain. Money is going down the drain. We're not going to do that. Rosenborg is deleted. Brandbergen still lives. And what was the other one? Stabæk over is okay. But go ahead, enter them. But I had to remove those from this list now. How do I do it? Because I don't want to mess this up here. Do we have Sandefjord over? Yes, I think so. So, now here we go. Those are the bets we have. And then I'm gonna leave. No, I don't want that. I wanted this, and this one. But start is deleted. Can you see that? But the prices are not updated, right? How are we going to do that? Chat, please help me out. This one does not count. All the others do count. From the Xamax under and the Lugano under. Or was there one of them we did remove? No. Yeah, 2.0. Brun over. What is Brun over? Yeah, away side? No. Brandbergen. Did I say something about Brandbergen over? Brun 0, 1 point. Well, then it's coming close, of course, right? 198, it's very close. 2.0 is fine. I mean, we have to decide for the prices we take now. But could you up? What would we do now? I mean, without Christian, I'm lost. Oh, even a misprint here. Vålerenga. I don't know the price now. Well, we have to check. We have to check the chat then. Or who could type them in? There's a tick to that. I don't know what to do now, really. Because those are not the proper prices, but I think those are the bets. Xamaxion under. Did we say that? Yeah. That was a very decent one, if you see this margin. It does make sense. Lugano Thun, same thing. We didn't want the site, really. Although we argued in favor of it for a while. Vålerenga, we said we have to, although we accept market humble. Odds against Brann, we do take, but we do not have this price. I would type in now 2.00 because I saw that here. Here I think I have to type in 1.93. Sandefjord over. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. Sandefjord over. Where's the price you had been giving me? Over 181. Okay, so I'm gonna type in 181. Vålerenga Haugesund. Did we like that? Yeah, that was the first one, right? Yeah, 193, I entered that. And Stabæk, that was a lower price. Okay, very good. Stabæk over. Did we have that or did we remove it? No, that was the over. Where is it over? Stabæk Sarpsborg. That one's missing. Did you have it? What was wrong? Stabæk Sarpsborg was an over. Although old system, why was it? No, that was 182, right? I think I mistyped that one. We could check that, but it was close to. I mean, they were close to each other. These two values. Go ahead, type that one in. With the price, and then we are off. I'm off. Oh, Fixie Hartman, thanks for your follow. I didn't even hear the tune, nor did I see the beautiful goal that had been scored before. Yeah, that price was a bit lower, but still it's good enough. So we have all these bets, and thanks for your follow while I'm leaving. But I hope to see you soon, Fixie Hartman. Okay? I mean, we found a couple of bets. We said, let's forget about these. English and Italian and all those Spanish and this stuff. There will be enough football to be played in the future. No, Laufen Mentes, Lugano we removed again. There was a couple of reasons for that. Right? That was removed. No Lugano. We argued for a while. I thought already, let's have a go, but it's removed. Draw is fine. We have the under. This is okay. They're gonna win 3-2 now to kill us, but can't help it. We have an under and not the side. 7 bets. That's right. I think, yeah, that's definitely here. The amount we got. No Lugano, no Rosenborg. That was silly. Okay? Okay, so thanks a lot for watching. I tried to be, well, I will tell you when the next stream is gonna be. I will indicate in my time schedule.